Hello everyone, welcome to City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle. A brand new Walmart just opened on the west side of town, bringing with it jobs, fresh produce, and economic growth.
Atlanta still rises like the phoenix. This site, this community still rises like the phoenix.
The historic West Side Village Walmart Supercenter is ready for business. Customers were at the store on opening day to take advantage of a wide variety of promotions, product samplings, and giveaways.
Everybody associated with the Walmart organization, thanks for dispelling the myth. Thanks for not buying into the lie that a neighborhood like this community could not sustain a grocer. Hello? We sat here December 2009, perplexed, bewildered, as we saw grocery cart after grocery cart leave the predecessor store that was once here, and wondered why? Why not this community?
By combining general merchandise and fresh groceries in one location for English Avenue and Vine City residents, this means shopping close to home. Councilmember Joyce Shepard and City Council President Caesar Mitchell both picked up a few items.
I certainly want to thank Walmart for making the investment. They saw the need and they stepped up and made the investment. So I'm glad to be here, not only as City Council President, but I'm glad to be here as a resident of this community with family in this community that will use this store and support this effort.
And we need to reward this effort with our patronage and our dollars. You know, I don't know about you, but as soon as this program is over, I'm going shopping. And the beautiful thing about it is that I don't have to go anywhere but right through that door.
The grocery area includes a variety of organic products and locally grown food. Other features include a bakery, meat and dairy products, dry goods, a deli, a garden center, electronics, and household supplies.
And I want to stop one more time and acknowledge Councilmember Ivory Young, because I want to tell you that nobody made more phone calls. Nobody fought harder. Nobody carried the banner for this neighborhood than your Councilmember Ivory Young. Please give it up for Ivory one more time, baby.
The retailer spent about $4.25 million to build the Supercenter. Residents joined Councilman Ivory Lee Young Jr. for his quarterly town hall meeting where constituents received progress reports on current plans and initiatives under consideration. The group also talked about ways to improve delivery of services, and they discussed how to enhance the quality of life in District 3 communities. The open forum gave constituents a chance to speak with top city personnel about a number of concerns. Fire Chief Kelvin Cochran was on hand. He mentioned what a successful and safe year Atlanta Fire Rescue had.
We again increased the number of calls for service by having over 95,000 calls for service in the city of Atlanta. About 75% of those calls for services were emergency medical services calls. Our fire losses were at another all-time low in the city of Atlanta.
The town hall meeting was an opportunity to bring city departments to the community in an effort to share information about important city issues. Volunteers mounted a late night, early morning effort to count Atlanta's homeless population. It's part of the mayor's Unsheltered No More initiative, which seeks to find housing for 800 homeless residents. Volunteers spoke with homeless people in and around downtown. The information compiled will be entered into a registry that will connect homeless residents with organizations that can help them. Many volunteers saw hope for the people they met.
He's been homeless for a year, made it through 10th grade of high school. Something went wrong at that point in time. He got himself in a little bit of trouble, but he seemed like a normal kid, very healthy kid. In another situation could have a bright future.
The Atlanta Homeless Registry is a joint effort between the city, the United Way, Hands on Atlanta, and the Downtown Improvement District. The city of Atlanta is on a path to financial stability. Mayor Reed says the city's general fund reserves are now over $126 million. That's an increase of more than $119 million since the mayor took office in 2010. Back then, the general fund fund reserve was $7.4 million. Reed says the healthy bottom line is the result of cutting unnecessary expenses and sensible management of city finances. Touting the city's reserves was just one subject the mayor brought up at his annual remarks to the Kiwanis Club. Reed spent the morning touching on a few of his accomplishments, including reforming the city's pension program.
It has freed up between $25 million and $32 million and is a significant reason why we've grown our cash reserves the way that we have.
Another accomplishment Mayor Reed highlighted from 2012 was the work he did with Governor Nathan Deal in winning approval for the deepening of the Port of Savannah. The mayor predicts a huge economic boost for the entire state when that work is complete in 2016. The city makes way for a new affordable senior community near the Lakewood Fairgrounds. The city broke ground on Betmar Village, a 48-unit residential development for low-income residents 62 and older. The gated community will have green construction, energy-efficient appliances, a picnic and park area, and a community room.
We understand how important it is for senior citizens to find that home that is safe for them. They want to be safe, but they want to have independence, but they want to be able to move around. And so this will provide affordable and convenient amenities and services that they would need for every day.
So this neighborhood is a thriving neighborhood that really is a jewel. I mean, when we look at the empowerment zone money, when you come down the street, you see all the street lanterns, brand new sidewalks. This community is up and thriving.
The new development replaces the demolished Lakewood Courts apartment complex. Southwest Atlanta seniors now have a new place to call home. National Church Residences held a grand opening for Baptist Gardens, an affordable senior housing community in District 11. Residents are moving into the 100-unit facility, which has a courtyard, a walking trail, a library, and a computer center. The $8.56 million project was built using low-income housing tax credit financing. The 4-story building with elevator service is for seniors 55 and older. Improvements for the Midwest Cascade neighborhood, the long-awaited Danforth Road Sidewalk Improvement Project. Councilmember Keisha Bottoms, the Department of Public Works, and NPUQ are excited about this project that will bring new sidewalks, wheelchair ramps, a 2-foot grass strip, trees, and intersection improvements at the corner of Danforth and New Hope Roads. Public Works is implementing community improvement projects all across the city through its Capital Improvements Program. And as part of that initiative, the city also broke ground in the West End for the Harris Homes Streetscape Improvement Project. It's phase 1 of the West End Livable Centers initiative, which stretches from Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard between I-20 and Sells Avenue. The project includes improvements to landscaping, the addition of pedestrian and street lighting, sidewalk repairs, crosswalk enhancements, and street furniture. Public Works will also add wheelchair ramps, concrete curbs and gutters, a 2-foot grass strip along the sidewalk, and drainage and piping structures as needed. Councilwoman Cleta Winslow says this streetscape project was the first Livable Centers initiative approved by the Atlanta City Council in 2000. She says she's delighted that these improvements will be made along the West End commercial corridor. The improvements come from a combination of local and federal funds. On the agenda, in an 11-2 vote, the City Council passed legislation supporting marriage equality. Councilmember Alex Wan introduced the legislation after weeks of consideration. He says it's something he's wanted to do for a while, and it was just a matter of finding the right time. Atlanta is well known for its diversity and has a large concentration of LGBT residents. While the City Council's legislation supporting same-sex marriage has no legal impact, Councilman Wan sees the resolution as an important symbolic gesture. Councilman Kwanzaa Hall kicks off the 2013 edition of the Year of Boulevard. The initiative brought positive change for those in the Old Fourth Ward who partnered to improve quality of life along District 2's Boulevard corridor. Throughout 2012, the group participated in tons of events, activities, and cleanups. Hall says the initiative was nothing but successful. He says they met all of their benchmarks and delivered what they promised.
2012 was such a great year that we had to continue. There's a lot more work to be done for sure, but also there's a lot of energy and positivity that came out of our efforts, and we're encouraged that we know we can do much more, and our partners have come to the table and new people have also shown up.
For his efforts to improve the Boulevard corridor, the Kellogg Foundation selected Hall as the recipient of a fellowship to collaborate with other elected officials from across the country engaged in similar grassroots community improvement efforts. Hall and a team of Atlanta stakeholders traveled to Los Angeles to work with their peers from several cities, including Baltimore, Newark, Nashville, and Oakland. It won't be long before the state-of-the-art low-floor vehicles powered by a single overhead electric trolley wire become a major mode of transportation for getting around the city. It is the Atlanta streetcar, and people and businesses along its route are excited about what this could mean for them.
I'm so glad to hear about the streetcar plans, and have been very, excited to see new businesses just pop up left and right. That I'm glad that we made this decision to be here.
Matt Rupert is the owner of Noni's Bar and Deli on Edgewood, and during construction along the streetcar routes, Matt wants all to know that Noni's, as well as all the retail establishments on Edgewood Avenue, are open for business.
I think that once the streetcar is built, a lot of folks from Georgia State, a lot of the students, professors, plus a lot of the business folks that work in downtown will hopefully decide that it's going to cost less money and be easier to hop on the trolley. So I have high hopes that it'll circulate traffic much more efficiently, especially to us.
Emma Dickerson of All In Customs agrees.
Yeah, it's a means to a better Edgewood.
The Beltline Southwest Connector Trail gets underway. Phase 1 of the 4.5-mile trail, led by the Path Foundation, will connect the Atlanta Beltline through the Westview neighborhood in Southwest Atlanta. The track starts at the existing Lionel Hampton Trail, passes by Beecher Hills Elementary School, and comes out onto Westwood Avenue.
This is so exciting, not only for this community, but just for Southwest Atlanta as a whole, to give us connectivity to the Beltline and to have a safe place that this community can come out and walk and jog and skate and ride their bikes. It's wonderful.
Phase 1 of this project, along with the East Side, the West End, and the North Side trails, brings the total of permanent trails to nearly 7 miles. The Jackson International Terminal earns LEED Gold certification. The certification program recognizes organizations that construct buildings with a strong emphasis on environmental performance. The 1.2 million square foot terminal and concourse were built with recycled and/or regionally produced construction materials, and several steps were taken to ensure air quality, to conserve water and energy, and to increase the use of natural light. There are several eco-friendly features at the International Terminal that highlights the airport's focus on sustainability and minimizing the International Terminal's impact on the environment. Councilmember Alex One is here to talk about District 6 and what he's looking forward to for 2013, plus development opportunities for downtown Atlanta. And we'll tell you how to put money back in your wallet this tax season. Stay with us. We start this year with Councilman Alex One. He grew up in Stone Mountain, attended Georgia Tech, ran his own business for more than 20 years, and now he's the Council District 6 representative.
I'm thrilled to introduce a great friend of mine and a great friend of the Human Rights Campaign, City Council member Alex One.
With extensive community service, Alex One brings valuable experience to the city of Atlanta, from helping the homeless, low-income individuals, and people living with HIV/AIDS. He balances his community work with his council duties. One is the first Asian American member of the Atlanta City Council. He serves on the Zoning Committee, the Finance Committee, and the City Utilities Committee. We have Councilman One with us in the studio today. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You are serving your first term on the City Council. What sparked your interest in politics?
Wow, that's a good question. I'd like to think of myself as, you remember the movie Accidental Tourist? I like to think of myself as kind of an accidental elected official. Don't know that I ever really envisioned being on City Council. It was more just, I've always been very involved in the community. what I would do is, there would be a cause that I would feel very passionate about, and I would go find an organization, a nonprofit, or an agency that works specifically on that, get very involved. I'd often find myself in a leadership position on the board or within the organization, and I would do that on a number of different issues. And I think what I realized over time was that I kind of have this vision of what I want my community to look like and be like, what I want my city to aspire to. And I realized that, I could try and make incremental gains and progress in each one of these little agencies, or if I really was serious about wanting to make a good push towards, kind of my vision for the city, that I needed to make the leap and try and do it from a more visible, more public position. So I ran for office back in 2004, was unsuccessful, but it was through that process that kind of exposed me to even more parts of the city. I stayed involved, stayed engaged, and then when my predecessor announced she wasn't going to run, I just had to sit down and think, okay, Alex, is this really what you want to do? And it was, and I was lucky enough that the voters voted to send me down here.
When you meet with constituents, what are some of their concerns?
I'm sure it's the same across the city. It's what is everybody's quality of life? What are the things that that are part of their vision that they're not able to realize? It may be as simple as simple city services, like, is my garbage being picked up when it's supposed to be, so that we don't have trash or yard clippings on the street? Is it public safety? Do I feel safe when I go down to my neighborhood store, or when I'm just walking the dog through the neighborhood? To bigger issues that, oh my gosh, where do we want Atlanta to be in 10 years, in 20 years? The struggles that the city has seen through the recession. What are we doing to make sure that when the economy comes back, that we're in a good position to make Atlanta everything that we want to be? So, it's great. I love my district because we'll have very specific micro district conversations about specific streets or specific neighborhoods, to very philosophical policy questions about what's best for Atlanta. What are the priorities that we should be investing in right now to set ourselves up for good success 10 and 20 years from now?
You are involved with several organizations, and even before you were elected to office, you were giving a lot of your time to the community. Why is that?
Again, it goes back to that whole idea of I have very specific visions and thoughts about what I want my neighborhood, what I want my community, and what I want my city to look like. And I'm one of these folks that you can stand back or sit back and talk about it, or you can just jump in and get into the trenches and fight with everyone and try to move those issues forward. And that was really, there are just a lot of things that I care about, and I hope that, if Atlantans adopt that and get involved, we really can make a lot of things happen. I think one of the neatest things that I did was this nonprofit that a group of friends and I started that helps underprivileged kids. We collect backpacks and school supplies and toys during the holidays for underprivileged children in Atlanta. But I think the most remarkable thing about that was we all, after we launched the organization and the events, and saw the results come in, it was just this aha moment that, wow, 19 of us just had an idea. We had this goal, we had this hope that, and this understanding that there's a group of people that need help. And the fact that we came together and were able to organize and really make a difference is very empowering. And most people, I'm sure you run across this, as soon as folks volunteer, and if it's painting a house for Habitat for Humanity, or if it's volunteering at a soup kitchen, or if it's just a cleanup in the neighborhood, there's something very empowering about that after you're done, and you can see what you've done. So I'm hoping that continues to expand, and folks really start buying into that even more.
The City Council passed legislation supporting same-sex marriage, and you put a lot of thought into that resolution.
I did. That was, marriage equality has been an issue that's obviously been very important to my community. In fact, in 2004, when I started getting, becoming more of an activist, that was the specific issue that drew me into the arena. It was the marriage amendment that was on the Georgia Constitution. So obviously it's something that's near and dear to my heart, and As soon as I was elected, a lot of members of the community came forward and said, you know, Atlanta really should be one of the leading voices in this conversation, in this dialogue. And I said, yes, I agree, but we need to do some groundwork. You know, I need to build the relationships with my colleagues and have these conversations, because that's, you know, to me, that's how you make the progress. You've got to you have to change hearts and minds one at a time. The timing just felt right. Towards the end of last year, I think the big impetus was the president coming out and being very vocal about his support for marriage equality, and just the sense on council as well. You know, the conversations that I had been having all along seemed to indicate that there was appetite and there was support on it. So, you know, I worked with the community. I worked with my colleagues on council to craft the language specifically that I thought would be meaningful and appropriate, and what resulted was the resolution that got passed. I'll tell you, one of the things I'm most proud about that is the fact that it is a very pure, very simple resolution that supports marriage equality. It's not in response to anything. I think that the council has taken actions before and taken positions on the issue that were being discussed in a different arena or being acted upon in a different arena. But this was you know, this is Atlanta City Council. This is what we believe in and what we support on our own. And that, I thought, was one of the best, you know, things about the resolution. And the fact that the mayor, you know, about 10 days later, came out and expressed his support for marriage equality was just icing on the cake. And quite frankly, for a city like Atlanta, that has such a large LGBT population, we really should be a leader in the conversation. And I just can't think of a stronger position that a city can take than all of its elected officials coming out and supporting and vocally and publicly supporting marriage equality. It was a little nervous for me, though. You know, it was something. I think it was the first time that I had done something that was very personal and something that I felt very passionately, personally about. And there was kind of in the back of my mind was, okay, I think we can get there, but I also was worried about what would it mean if we can't get there, and what would that mean for my community, but more importantly, what would that mean to me personally? But everything worked out, and you know, I'm very proud of it.
Growth in this city has been tremendous, and you've watched the town grow. What would you like for Atlanta to accomplish next? You
know, it's funny. I grew up in Stone Mountain, so I've really watched the city change, and you know, the kind of the spurts, and then the shrinking, and then the resurgence again. It's a very exciting thing, and I really I'm quite pleased with council and the administration and the approach that we have and the vision that we are trying to create and the steps we're trying to take to make sure that Atlanta continues on this path. You know, for a long time, I always thought Atlanta was a small town trying to be a big city. And I guess that's just from my perspective of knowing when Atlanta was really a small town, and Stone Mountain was in the middle of dairy fields, quite frankly. But now we're a big city, and we're a big city that really should be positioning ourselves as an international city. We have been, but there are still things that we can be doing to help that image, help that perception, and help that reality. You know, one of the things that I think, you know, I've been very, very interested in is just continued economic development. I think the city needs to continue diversifying our industries, attracting businesses that have good sustainable growth over the long term. And the other thing that I think is we really have to focus on preparing our citizens and our residents and our population to participate in that growth. That, you know, are we job ready? Are we doing the things to make sure that we are all going to be able to take advantage of the opportunities as they come? Are we doing the right things to attract the right companies and industries? And how can we cooperate not only just with our neighboring counties and cities, but also with the state and the region to make sure that Atlanta stays in that leadership position? There's a lot we can do. Part of it is just, you know, what resources do we have available now? What are the right ways to invest those resources to lay the groundwork for the future? And, you know, just sticking to the plan. I mean, that's going to be the challenge, is having the discipline to say, okay, we're doing this today. because we want this in the future. Sure, some of those resources can be invested in things that we need today, but having the vision and the discipline to set it aside, go, okay, this is what we need to do for our future.
Councilman Alex Vaughn, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Councilwoman Cleta Winslow says it's a great time to buy a house in the city. Thanks to the governor's office, new moms and dads can get help from Atlanta Fire Rescue. And the founder of Humble Heroes tells us how his organization helps public safety officers injured in the line of duty. Back in a moment. Atlanta is one of the fastest growing cities in the nation, and while there are a lot of things that contribute to a city's dynamic growth, its prosperity lies in a vibrant downtown community, one that is livable, robust, and diverse.
The city of Atlanta is like a proud parent when it comes to their downtown district. It boasts of diversity in the arts, culture, shopping, and of course, great food. The continued development of Atlanta's downtown district is due to key partnerships between agencies like Central Atlanta Progress and Invest Atlanta. Tyrone Rochelle is with Invest Atlanta. He's the managing director for redevelopment.
We've had great successes downtown. Most of downtown is in two major redevelopment areas, the West Side Tax Allocation District and the East Side Tax Allocation District.
And those tax allocation districts will soon get two more national facilities. The College Football Hall of Fame and the Center for Civil and Human Rights will be built in the Centennial Olympic Park area.
We got this done. And that's what I want Atlanta to be known for. A city that gets things done. We wanted the College Football Hall of Fame. We galvanized the corporate community. We galvanized community support. And because of that, we're going to have one of the most vital tourism corridors of any place in the United States of America.
And perhaps even more important than tourism, the continued development of downtown Atlanta will create jobs.
Most of our redevelopment efforts are trying to figure out ways to create linkages between downtown proper and the communities that surround them. We are actively involved in creating catalytic investments that can change not only the site in which the building stands on, but then has a halo effect to be able to change and connect neighborhoods into the downtown central core. This is about creating jobs and allowing those that have the skills to help train them and place them into jobs, which grows wealth for all of us.
The new College Football Hall of Fame is scheduled to open in the fall of 2014, and it will attract an estimated 500,000 visitors per year. Councilmember Cleta Winslow hosts a free tour of homes in the historic West End and Westview communities. Invest Atlanta gave potential home buyers useful information about the city's down payment assistance program. After qualifying for the program, individuals can receive up to $25,000 in down payment assistance towards buying a house in the city of Atlanta.
The Neighborhood Lift program is really great as well. It's a down payment assistance program for first-time home buyers who purchase within the city of Atlanta. And basically, they're just trying to revitalize the community and give first-time home buyers that extra push that they need to go ahead and try the process of home ownership.
So we really encourage people, you know, if you have time during the weekday or on a Saturday, you know, come visit us. Come see what we're all about, because we think we're the best in the city of Atlanta.
Winslow says this is also a great opportunity for City of Atlanta employees interested in living in the city. Is your household income $49,000 or less? If so, you may qualify for free 2012 tax return preparation. The Mayor's Office of Weed and Seed and the Atlanta Workforce Development Agency announced National Earned Income Tax Credit Day. Many families are eligible for the tax credit, but in Atlanta, millions of dollars go unclaimed by families who fail to get their tax credit. Eligible citizens can claim the credit through using free tax preparation services at local volunteer income tax assistance centers.
We want folks to know that this service is free. Let me say that again, this service is free, and there are other entitlements besides coming in to get your taxes done that folks can benefit from, so they really should take advantage of this opportunity.
The tax credit could mean more money and reduce the amount of taxes owed. For a VITA site near you, log on to atlantaprosperity.org. To keep up with Atlanta City government, tune in to ATL 26. City Channel 26 gives you a seat at the table for all of the important stuff at City Hall. And you can always email us, send your questions or comments to citytalk@atlantagaga.gov. Parents can still look to Atlanta Fire Rescue for help with child safety seats. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety granted the department over $163,000 to continue the car safety seat program. Atlanta has received the grant since 2000, and the department estimates that 65,000 seats have been given out.
Either they're improperly positioned, they are facing backwards when they should be facing forward, or they're facing forward depending on the age when they should be facing backwards.
Atlanta Fire Rescue will also use part of the money to educate adults about proper seatbelt usage. Atlanta Police Detective Patrick Apoyan is founder and president of Humble Heroes, which helps police officers and firefighters injured in the line of duty. He knows too well how that feels. In 2011, he was run over by a car. After multiple surgeries and being in a wheelchair, Detective Apoyan started getting his body healthy, and he got back to doing what he loves, being out in the community, making a difference in the lives of so many. Detective Apoyan, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
As a veteran police officer, you have always been out in the community looking out for others, from sports events with kids to Santa Cop to toy drives, canned food drives, collecting coats in the winter. And looking out for others is the reason why you started Humble Heroes. Tell us about your organization.
My organization helps firefighters and police officers that are seriously ill and injured. That's our primary focus, but a secondary focus is giving back to the community, doing things for the communities that the different departments serve. You know, we've done a lot in the city of Atlanta, but we've done other things outside the city as well.
When you were injured, support came from all over Metro Atlanta, and neighborhoods in Zone 6 where you patrol were extremely helpful.
Yeah, it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to my family. Not just the fundraisers they did that you know helped me get by, but the moral support was tremendous, and the friends that came out and the friends that I've made in the community over the past 10 years has been unbelievable.
And APD gave you the Purple Heart Award.
Yes, yes, the prestigious Purple Heart that nobody should win.
What can our viewers do to help Humble Heroes?
They can go to humbleheroes.org. And make a donation, or we list events on there when we do events that gives back from the community. Currently we're in the planning stages of January 26th. We'll be doing a fundraiser for a brand new school that's opening up in Cumming to help them build up their library and their science lab for the children.
You recently attended a premiere for the new Mark Wahlberg film, Broken City, and Wahlberg had plenty of kind words for you. And Warwick Dunn surprised you with tickets to the playoff game. What was it like going Hollywood for a night?
It was, everybody dreams of growing up and, oh, I'd love to be a movie star, or I'd love to be on TV or famous. And for one night, I felt like they felt, going on the red carpet, and people were interested in me and my story. And I was standing next to a reporter, talking to the reporter, and next thing I know, Mark Wahlberg is tapping me on my shoulder and saying, I got to give this guy a hug, even though he's a Yankee fan. So I said, well, I'll give you a hug even though you shot Derek Jeter and the other guys. So it was a lot of fun. And then from there, it was just talk about baseball and family, and there it was just normal conversation, as if I was talking to an old friend.
When you do Santa Cop, how appreciative are the families in those cases?
Very appreciative, very, very appreciative. We started out, I started out doing Santa Cop probably 12, 13 years ago, and dressing up as Santa Claus and having people come take a picture with me. And all they needed to do was bring a toy to donate, and we started donating to Toys for Tots, and then we switched it over to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta in many cases. So with the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, we didn't get to meet a lot of the families. But we have done toy drives where we've gone out to the community and given back to the community.
And you've done so much for so many. It's great to have you in our community.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Detective Apoyan, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
The Keep It In Town campaign, helping restaurants and businesses right here at home. And So Deaf is an all-star anniversary concert to celebrate the label's 20th anniversary. That's next. Last year, Keep Atlanta Beautiful opened a weekly Buckhead Community Recycling Center. The first Saturday of every month from 10 to 3, people can drop off recyclables at the 2nd Ponce de Leon Baptist Church in the church's rear parking lot. The center handles styrofoam, latex paint, electronics, and paper products for shredding. Keep Atlanta Beautiful's executive director says the program has done well, but she would like it to be busier. Their goal is to have 300 cars per day. That's 1 car per minute for the 5 hours they're open. Buckhead is the second recycling location operated by Keep Atlanta Beautiful. The first started in the Old 4th Ward at the Walden School. Both locations are open to the public and there are no residency requirements. Councilman Kwanzaa Hall is stressing the importance of keeping it in town. The Keep It In Town campaign puts a spotlight on thousands of small businesses in the city. It's an ongoing effort to get people to spend their money in town. Downtown, Midtown, Sweet Auburn, and many more neighborhoods have residents who are passionate about supporting independent businesses. Hall says when shopping locally, businesses aren't the only ones who benefit. It also provides jobs, and that could go a long way towards strengthening Atlanta's economy. Councilman Aaron Watson has a Live Smarter, Live Better initiative to encourage Atlantans of all ages to embrace healthy eating habits, exercise, and eco-friendly practices. Watson wants Atlanta to be a greener, healthier, and physically active place to live and work. Living Smarter includes a series of bike rides, making better environmental choices, and eating healthy. Through this program, Watson hopes to energize citizens to think, move, and connect with others. The City of Atlanta has online services available to make doing business with the city a little easier. On our website, you can pay water bills, municipal court citations, parking tickets, and apply for permits. Atlanta's list of online services will continue to grow as the city strives to identify more opportunities to provide access to government services via the internet. For a full list of online services, visit our website at atlantanga.gov. The mayor welcomed hip-hop music icon Jermaine Dupri and his So Deaf crew to City Hall to congratulate Dupri on an important achievement.
We're celebrating today because So Deaf has reached an incredible milestone, really for any business, but certainly for an entertainment company. This is their 20th anniversary, and we're here to announce and celebrate the concert that's going to be taking place on February 23rd at the Fox Theater.
Jermaine Dupri and the So Deaf record label is responsible for creating many hip-hop stars, Criss Cross, The Brat, and Jagged Edge, just to name a few. All of the stars of the So Deaf label, past and present, are set to perform live at the 20th anniversary concert here in Atlanta. Thank you for watching City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle.